Welcome to the Story of Liberty. We hope you're having a great day, and I hope you did not open the paper today to read your horoscope. There exists in the writings of virtually all civilizations, since the beginning of time, a description of the major stars in the heavens, something that has been called the zodiac. And there are 12. So if you go back in time to the different civilizations of Rome or Greece or Egypt or Babylonia, regardless of how far you go back, there's a remarkable similarity. In fact, it's exact. All these nations have the same 12 signs, representing the same 12 things, placed in the exact same order. Archaeologists and others have studied this throughout history, and they have been unable to discover how it is that all over the world the same signs exist. We look right there in the book of Genesis, verse 14, book of Genesis, verse 1, and God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and years." Well, what is a sign? A sign is obviously that something that proclaims a certain message. Well, we would like to talk about what the Bible in the heavens really talks about. Where did they come from? They came from the oldest book in the Bible, arguably the oldest book ever written, approximately 2,150 years before Christ and 650 years before Moses stepped across the threshold of history. God finally breaks on the scene, and he speaks to Job and his false comforters. And he is questioning Job and showing him and his friends that they don't have understanding. And he says to them, "Could you bind the sweet influences of the Pleiades, or loose the hands of Orion? Can you bring forth the Mazzaroth in his season?" So we see here that this reference of the constellations comes from the oldest book in the Bible. Now also we can see in the book of Psalms 147:4, if you read that, you will see exactly where God actually named the stars. He called them by name and he numbered them. We also see another star. When Jesus was born in Bethlehem in the days of Herod the king, the wise men from the east came to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is he who has been born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and have come to worship him." Now, folks, there's a counterfeit. Many of you have opened the paper today and read your horoscope. And of course, this modern astrology, which the Bible completely and repeatedly condemns and warns Christians against. This corruption actually began at the Tower of Babel. In the book of Isaiah chapter 47, verse 13, it begins, and Isaiah gives a strong warning to the astrologers and the stargazers. And he says that they shall be burned as in fire. The Bible makes it clear, repeatedly condemns to what is now known as astrology. But the fact remains there is a God-given original, which is the true meaning behind all that which has been corrupted by our modern generation. We're told in the book of Psalms 19:1 and 2 that the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmament shows his handiwork. God gave to all the world a proclamation of the gospel in the heavens. We're told that a picture is worth 1,000 words, and God has indeed painted a sky painting right in the heaven, a picture gallery that shows the glories of his redemption. The first preaching of the gospel is found right in the 3rd chapter of Genesis. Immediately after man is tempted and he falls, God makes a pronouncement to Satan. He says, I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your seed and her seed. It shall bruise your head and shall bruise his heel. Genesis 3:15. This is the Protevangelium, the first preaching of the gospel. God is saying that he's going to put enmity between the serpent, Satan, and the woman, and between the seed of the serpent and the seed of the woman. Everywhere we look in the Bible, we see that people are referred as coming from men. Only Christ is the seed of a woman, and the seed of the woman will bruise his head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. Now this means that Satan was going to bruise the heel of Christ, bringing about his suffering and anguish there in the Garden of Gethsemane, and his scourging, his crucifixion, and his death on the cross. But Christ would rise from the dead on that glorious Sunday and eternally destroy Satan. This is the first gospel right in Genesis 3:15, and this is what this beautiful sky painting at various places around the world, in Egypt and other temples, that signify the glorious redemption of Christ the Lord. Join us for part 2.